So today I'll be gone, and I wanted to make sure I addressed a few of the things that were going on in class. First and foremost, if you are in 1A and 2A, please watch the video on the Google Classroom, and that will give you kind of some background knowledge and information over what we are covering this unit. And you need to do that first before you guys do any of the other assignments. Today, you guys are gonna, after you complete that video, it's 11 minutes, so you need to kind of watch it on a device. I've also put it in the sub notes for the sub to show you um, to the whole class if possible. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to look at 6 different situations. I'm actually going to kind of give you one of the situations in regards to U.S. imperialism where we go and force our will for economic gain and kind of what we receive for that or from that. Then you will watch a 30-minute video over imperialism. And then finally, you will do a pre-write, which is kind of evaluating to what extent did American expansion lead to U.S. becoming a world power. So you're going to kind of look at these 6 territories that we are going to get involved in and kind of how we're going to acquire these territories. And then you're going to end up doing like a pre-write. The pre-write will be a grade, so make sure you get that done. If you don't get it done in class, you'll have to do it for homework. So some upcoming dates, if you would kind of look here, you have some due dates. Your map is due 10/17 if you're in A day and 10/18 for B day. Retest is 10:17 a.m. and p.m. In the morning, you can check in with Mr. Gelner on Tuesday the 17th. Afternoon, you'll be in here. Mr. Gelner will get you started, and then I'll be here after I have hall duty. And then finally, the extra credit movie review is on the Learning Hub for this 6 weeks. And just a reminder, that is 15 points on a daily grade, or excuse me, 15 points on a quiz grade. And it's only one quiz grade once a 6 weeks, and it is on the Student Learning Hub with different movies for you to watch that are related to the content we'll be covering for this unit. So the essential question that you're looking at for this unit today or this activity today is how did the United States become a world power? And then that's why you'll be writing that pre-write. And the pre-write, we aren't writing an essay. We're just kind of practicing, kind of brainstorming some of the things that we're covering. And so the first thing you're going to do is you will do a round robin over U.S. foreign policy, and the round robin will be at your table. So each student will read about a foreign policy and complete the who, what, when, and why on page 7 in your BOK. You'll have about 10 minutes to read and complete that assignment. And then after you complete that, you will have 2 minutes per student to share your foreign policy with your table. So you should be able to, it may not take you quite as much time, but each student is responsible for one of the territories that we are going to be involved in, and then you will share that information to your table as they complete that chart. So if you would take a minute right now and flip to page 7 in your BOK, and I will kind of go over one of the topics that you guys should be covering, and you're going to actually add this to your map because it's not on the map, and I feel like it's important enough to mention it because you have it for your one map, but I want to add it to this one. So again, turn to page 7 in your BOK. And on page 7 at the very top, you're going to add Alaska, and you can see I've obviously labeled Alaska on the map and I drew an arrow to it. My box wasn't big enough for me to write all the information that I wanted to write. So the biggest thing about Alaska that you guys need to know is one of the Secretary of State, William Seward, during this time we're wanting to be imperialistic, and he starts thinking about how do we exploit Asian markets, how do we remove all of our foreign, competitors from the Northern Pacific, so along the California coast, Oregon, Washington, and he actually starts kind of turning his attention towards British Columbia and looking in Canada. But then he hears from Russia, and Russia, Alaska, they basically are offering William Seward, the opportunity to purchase Alaska. And so he ends up purchasing Alaska, and it turns into people actually making fun of him, and that's why it's called Seward's Folly or Seward's Icebox, because they couldn't believe that he would spend $7.2 million on the purchase of Alaska. But The later on effect is we didn't realize how many natural resources we would get, fishing, animals, the Klondike Gold Rush. I mean, so there's so many benefits that we get later on that kind of pays us back tenfold for Alaska. But at the time, people made fun of him for purchasing that. So, what you're going to do is you will get a packet of information and you will find your topic. So, you may have the open door policy, you may have the Philippines, you may have Hawaii, you may have Panama Canal, you may have Cuba or Puerto Rico, and you are going to read the one-page information about your topic, and then you are going to fill out the who, what, when, and why on this page, page 7. And then after you complete that page, you will have 2 minutes per individual to share out your information to everybody at your table. The next thing I kind of want to mention before we get going, these are just some key points in regards to Alaska. So you have Russia wanted to originally sell Alaska to America in 1859. Secretary of State William Seward bought Alaska in 1867 for $7.2 million. People made fun of him, called it Seward's Folly. This was imperialistic at the time because America wanted to take control of more land. Later on, we find the Klondike Gold Rush. So this is the information you essentially could write on that page. The next thing you're going to do after you complete that, the sub will have you watch a video, and the video will be over imperialism. So on the back page of your book of knowledge, you need to write 3 facts about each of the following territories from the video. So you need to kind of make some notes about Alaska, Hawaii, and Cuba, some just kind of basic information about those places to kind of help review you. And then after the video, that's when you will be writing to what extent did American expansionism lead the U.S. to becoming a world power. So you're going to complete the pre-write. Students need to use pages 5 through 8 in the BOK to complete the pre-write. And it says due at the end of class. That will be per the sub on whether or not she feels that you've worked hard enough or we just didn't have time to complete it. Otherwise, it will be due the next class period.